Welcome back to another Film Geek movie review. In just a moment, I'm going to be headed out the door to check out the new movie, Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. This movie comes to us from the same team that gave us the Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey movies. This is the first movie in what they're calling the Pooh-verse, and that's a bunch of unlicensed characters from different movies and books, and they're going to make a whole series of horror movies from them. There's like a Bambi movie coming out soon, probably more Winnie the Pooh, and maybe more Peter Pan if this one does well. So what's the plot of this movie? Well, it tells the story of Wendy Darling and her search for her younger brother, who seems to be been kidnapped by the evil Peter Pan and taken off to his Neverland. Now, I don't mean like Neverland is in a fantasy world, because I watched the trailer for this movie, and guys, this movie looks like it is going to go hard. It's about child abduction. There was some really crazy kills that you just get to see for a millisecond. This movie looks like it's going to be something in the, combined with like Terrifier and the Blast Mask. There's some real creepy, dark stuff going on in this trailer, let me tell you guys. So it kind of makes me wonder what's going to be going on in this film. So you know what? It's enough of me sitting here jibber-jabbering on. It's time for me to head out the door and check out Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. Welcome back, just getting home, and guys, while I did enjoy this movie, I don't think it's going to be everybody's cup of tea. So let's get this started, shall we? We're going to get started with, well, actually before the negatives and positives, I just want to address one thing. If you are a person who cannot take a lot of blood and guts and violence, this movie is not for you. At the beginning of my video, in my intro, I talked about how the trailer gave me vibes of The Black Phone meets Terrifier, and guys, I hit the nail on the head, let's just put it that way, because this movie is violent, it is gory, and it is in your face. It is very, very, very grotesque and brutal. And if you're someone who can't take that, then this is definitely not a film for you. You might want to set this one out. Now, let's move into it, shall we? Now, the thing that really did bother me about this movie, and it wasn't the grotesque violence, is the fact because this movie focuses so much on trying to gross you out with the violence, that it never really gets to any really good storytelling or character development. Now, let me explain. So, this film takes the characters from Peter Pan and turns them on their head. They take a beloved childhood story, well, mostly just the characters, but they utilize the lore of Peter Pan to make him into this child abducting bad slasher dude. And I really like the fact that they threw those elements in there. But the downside is that it really doesn't give the film a lot of character development or storytelling. It just kind of does what's known as breadcrumbing. It doesn't let you know exactly what Peter's motives are, why this is happening, what made him the person that he is today. It just gives you little hints. Little breadcrumbs are thrown throughout the film to kind of let you know what's going on. Now, I understand that they were doing this just to keep the runtime low and to really focus on grossing us out with all of the kills in this movie, because there's a pretty dang high body count. But by doing that, it really kind of slowed down the character development and just the motivations of the character. You never really get a very good grasp of the motivations and why these events are happening. You're just pretty much just being taken in by the spectacle that you're seeing on the screen. So other than that though, if you can take the over-the-top violence and the fact that the movie, do not go into this film expecting it to tell you some kind of new story and open your eyes to this whole new world of Peter Pan and putting the slasher genre on its ear and all that. It doesn't do that at all. In fact, this movie goes very hard, and I did like that about this movie. It doesn't go into the campiness and all of films like this. It is very mean-spirited. So all in all, if you're someone who does not like films like that, this is probably not going to be for you. But if you don't mind that, if you want to come just for the kills and the ooey gooey red stuff, then this film is definitely on your list to see. And you only got a couple of days because it's only in theaters for 3 days. So if you haven't seen it by now, get out there as soon as you can. I don't know where it's going. So let's get into the positives, shall we? The first thing is the acting. I actually thought the actors in this film did an outstanding job. Even though Peter himself did not have a lot of material on development and background on why this is all going on, the actor really did an excellent job of creating an extremely scary and creepy creature or human, so to say, for this film. So the lead actor did an excellent job with Peter Pan. Wendy also, great job. The child actors who were in this film did an outstanding job. This movie was not nearly as campy or schlocky as I thought it was going to be going into it, being that it's from the people that brought us the Winnie the Pooh movies, the Blood and Honey films. I thought this film was going to have a higher level of campiness attached to it, but no, this film goes hard. This movie is downright brutal and absolutely mean-spirited. And honestly, I really liked the fact that they did that. I like that they cut out the campiness and the whimsy and just went balls to the wall slasher horror territory. There are some decent scares, mostly focusing in the jump scare area, and those special effects, those practical special effects. Guys, if you are a gore hound, this is your movie. This year is kicking off just for you, because this film is a gorehound delight, and those practical special effects are done so well, you would swear that you are really seeing exactly what's happening on that screen. There's so many moments in this film that made me cringe and pull back in my chair that I just have to say good job to the filmmakers for making it that realistic and almost making me be able to feel what was happening on the screen. So all in all, guys, I would have to say, if you're somebody who's just curious about this film, wait to see maybe if it gets out there in streaming services. I don't know when that might be, but you only have a couple more days to see this film in theaters. Out of the filming of this video, it is January 13th, opening night. So you have the 14th and the 15th to still catch this film in theaters, if that sounds like something you would like to do. So what I have to say is, if you're a fan of the gore, if you like to see a pretty good old brutal slasher type film, this is definitely something for you. And if you want to see them take a childhood beloved story and absolutely turn it on its ear, take out all the fun and whimsy and leave it as just a big old violent mess, this is definitely a story for you. Well, alright guys, that's all I have for you today. Thanks again for checking out the Film Geek. If you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications, and give me the old thumbs up so I know you like what you're seeing. And if there's one more thing you can do, folks, that is keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna.